guys, how's it going? End of September and closing this month off with my impressions of the iPhone XS Max after 7 days of using this as my daily driver. My opinions from day 3 have not really changed in the grand scheme of things. I love this device and I'm starting to get used to iOS 12 and its extremely useful features. So when I was on the iPhone a year ago with my 6S, I hated the way that iOS handled notifications. I can tell you that things have vastly improved when using the XS Max with iOS 12. Stack notifications is probably my favorite feature this far, and it gives it a much cleaner look. I also love the ability to hold down and see more of a notification, something you can already do on Android, but it's a little finicky on my Pixel 2 XL. You drag down the notification on Android in order to see a little bit more of it, but it doesn't always work for me, especially when I have a lot of notifications on my phone. So you get iOS 12 out of the box, but don't let that be your deciding factor when purchasing a device. I mean, it runs insanely smooth on the latest hardware, but this update is available to all Apple phones dating back to the iPhone 5S, I believe. Where you will notice a difference though is with gaming, battery life, the camera, and when it comes to some heavy lifting and power-hungry apps. The entire iPhone lineup this year is equipped with Apple's in-house A12 Bionic chip. I don't want to get too much into the specs as I want to kind of focus on the end user experience. I can tell you without a doubt, this thing flies day in and day out. For the past couple of days, I've been playing all sorts of games during my downtime, and I have yet to see any sort of lag or frame drop. Not to mention, my battery has been holding up since the last time we've talked. I have been getting about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time on a single charge, and that's regardless of what I was doing on the phone. So I did a quick speed test on the download speeds over Wi-Fi, and I've been hitting the same speeds as my Pixel 2 XL, which is great news. So some things I did notice though, and a lot of you coming from Android might want to keep this in mind. I'm sure if you're coming from Android, you might be accustomed to using Google Photos, Google Drive, Google Play Music, and a lot of other Google Media apps. Rest assured guys, you can still live within the Google ecosystem while not living in the Google ecosystem, if that makes any sense. There are some compromises though. For example, I still back up to Google Photos while I'm on the iPhone, and I prefer that method compared to iCloud. On my Android, when I took pictures, it would automatically upload in the background, so my photos would be backed up without any kind of user intervention. The way iOS is designed, you can't really do that. You'd have to open up Google Photos and leave the screen on in order for photos to back up. Not a big deal for me. I just end up opening up the app at the end of the day while I'm plugged in, and it uploads everything immediately. So same goes for Google Play Music. If I want to download all my songs from my massive library, I gotta keep the app open. Fortunately for me, that's only a one-time thing where it'll pull my entire library. Once it's offline, I don't have to worry about it again unless I wipe my phone. What else? ChargeGate. Still not an issue. Not to say it doesn't exist, just know that Apple is currently working on a fix for it, and regardless of whether it's hardware or software, I'm sure they'll rectify it with a software update or a device replacement. So I took some more sample pics for you guys, which I'll share. Like I said before, the rear camera is excellent. If I were to move from my Pixel today, I can tell you photos on the rear shooter would be a non-issue. I've used the front-facing camera though, I've accepted the fact that it's not great. It does decently well in brightly lit conditions. I'm just not as excited about taking selfies with someone as I was with the Pixel 2 XL. So if this is something that's important to you, maybe hold off another year to see what the next iPhone brings. Or if you want something this year, There are a couple of Android options that have a great front and rear camera. I'm still hopeful Apple will nail this selfie cam eventually. It's just not this year. I just want to briefly touch over Face ID. It was really fast on the iPhone 10, but I feel that there is an improvement, although negligible this year. What I found awesome though is now you can have two identities, if you may, for improved accuracy. I did a take with my sunglasses and a hat, as well as just my normal self. Although not perfect, it pretty much works 98% of the time. That 2% included myself looking at it sideways in bed when I had my face buried halfway inside a pillow. The option to not look at the phone and unlock it is a much needed addition. I mean, only time I really need that extra layer of security is when I leave my phone unattended. A thief isn't going to hold it in front of your face just before taking off. I appreciate Apple adding that option in there so that we can toggle it whenever we need to. So 7 days in, and this is what I think so far of the iPhone XS Max. If you haven't seen our previous 2 videos on the iPhone XS Max, I will place a little card right here for you guys, as well as a link in the description below. And for those of you who are new here, we are doing a 4-part series on the iPhone XS Max, just giving you guys a perspective of what it's like to live with it for 15 days and what we like about it, what we don't like about it. We're giving it to you in a different format, just spread over 15 days. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we will be meeting up with you on day 15. I'm Jared the Tech Avenger. Don't forget, when it comes to tech, the Tech Avengers are there. We got your back.